Good morning. I thought I'd do a little video of our garden on Wednesday the 27th of May. This is the view down from our house. We've got the golden celebration in full flower and another lovely white rose called Winchester Cathedral. This is the bed and the bird feeders we look out onto from the house. We've got a shade border down one side of the garden, a lovely Viburnum Mauritii coming into flower, and a shade bed underneath beautiful silver birch. That goes down to a sweeping bed across the middle of the lawn. But as we walk out of our back door, we get the lovely view of a raised bed with rhododendrons, azaleas and camellias in it. And just coming into flower now at the end of May is the Kalmia latifolia. Also here we've got some great big pots of hostas and the summer geraniums just coming into bloom too. We've got a sweeping path that goes down the side of the garden, just a different mix of things in here: Rosa, Graham Thomas, hydrangeas, hollies, peonies, lovely selection of different things in the Allium Christophii just coming into to bloom here. And then we've got Jeff Hamilton Rose behind. And this is our sunny patio, surrounded by different patio pots of geraniums, hostas, lovely spiky yucca, some pots of lilies, more hostas, and a bench there which we can sit out in the sun. This border that divides the garden, we lifted all of the rather congested perennials from it earlier in the year and redivided and reinvigorated them, planting them back into the ground. Here we've got everything from summer flowering bulbs like liatris, a selection of different perennials from cranesbill geraniums to peonies, delphiniums, astrantias, some lovely campanulas and others. This will be in full bloom through June, July and August time to give us the summer colour that we want. And the centrepiece in the middle of this bed is the wedding cake tree. That's Cornus controversa variegata. Beautiful tree with outstretched branches, and that with its variegated foliage is just coming into flower now. The patio itself just gives us somewhere to display different sorts of potted plants, including these lovely hostas. We've got agapanthus, which will be in flower in the summer, variety of geraniums, the clematis, like this one, Arabella, are coming into flower now, euphorbia, a lovely shrub called diabolo, which is in bloom and the bees love that one. We've got some hibiscus and other shrubs beyond, and just a lovely arrangement of patio pots, plants and succulents. These beautiful little succulents from sedums to sempervivums and a variety of succulents just give us a nice little bit of maintenance-free summer display and great for dry site in the garden. And beyond that, some lilies and some hydrangeas. There's an archway that leads down to the bottom of the garden covered in golden hop and a golden summer jasmine, honeysuckle, wisteria, which is just finishing flowering, and also some clematis. Got a variety of different clematis varieties around the garden. And this is where we can sit out and just enjoy a cup of coffee in the sun with the air filled with fragrance. This is a Nemesia called Wisley Vanilla, beautifully fragrant, and I overwintered that and replanted it this year, so we haven't had to actually buy any more bedding plants at all this summer. The geraniums we overwintered in the greenhouse too, so they've got through scathe free. And this is Bowl of Beauty, peony just coming into bloom. Let's go through the archway now down to the bottom half of the garden. This is really the kitchen garden and the greenhouse beyond and the shed. The path is lined with fruit trees, apples and plums, And I've also got a lovely apple tree here called Spartan, which is one of my favourite eating apples. A really, really good fruit set on that this year. The kitchen garden has potatoes, and at the back along the fence is the autumn fruiting raspberry, Joan J, which is just coming up. The new canes are developing and they will be in flower and fruit later in the summer and into autumn. I've put some canes and poles to train the climbing beans up, and these are all growing really nicely now and spiralling their way up the canes. Beyond, I've got some different vegetable beds, carrots. Under the cloches I've got beetroots and spinach. Beyond, some lovely peas, mange-tous, coming into flower and fruit. And this is our outdoor tomato bed with a blight resistant tomato called Mountain Magic, which is growing up nicely. And here's some cutting roses which we grow here. We can cut blooms from the house. Beyond is a raised bed with herbs and salad crops in. And here are the first of the strawberries. These are in flower and just setting fruit, and these will need to be covered with a frame soon to protect them from birds. And in front of the shed, which is covered with a fig, I've got some other plants ready to go out in the garden or be moved around onto the patio, and surrounding that a lovely thornless blackberry, which gives us a fabulous crop and pickings throughout July and August. The greenhouse beyond, which will have tomatoes and cucumbers in it. But as we go down this path here, past another apple with a fantastic crop of fruits on it. This is Ellison's orange, which is an early ripening variety. Here we've got more cane fruits, tayberries, thornless blackberries and so on. Some rhubarb beyond, a lovely pear tree which we've trained a clematis up to give us some extra colour. And then we've got some standard roses surrounding a nice little central rose bed with David Austin's roses in it, and that is underplanted with a beautiful little dwarf cranesbill or hardy geranium to give you some extra flower. This bed gives us colour and fragrance through the summer, and this is a new bed that was filled with flowers which weren't particularly doing very well, and I wanted to grow some more crops this summer, so we whipped those out, and in its place I've just planted out sweet corn and some courgettes which might ripen and get a bit bigger and turn into marrows, and also butternut squash. So this is giving us more crops to enjoy during the summer. And then beyond is our little terracotta pot store. These are the pots we use for planting out things into the garden for the summer. And if I look through the trellis beyond, you can see the patio or back up across the lawn towards the house. So there we have it, a nice mix of plants and flowers and crops and fruits. This is our own little beautiful garden.